Advance me, matey! Shiver me timbers!
No!
Welcome back to the Out of Touch podcast. I'm Chris, and that's Bill, and this week we are watching Muppet Treasure Island. So, Bill, what did you think of Muppet Treasure Island?
I loved it when I was like 8.
And what do you think now?
I enjoy it, you know. It's a Muppet movie. What do you expect?
Yes.
Silliness, zaniness, maybe a couple catchy songs.
Yeah, I really like Muppet Treasure Island still. You know, based off Treasure Island, famous literary book. Robert Lewis, I think, wrote it.
Stevenson.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
You know, the source of most pirate fiction is that story. It's
Yeah.
the most famous pirate story ever told.
Definitely. I mean, probably the best pirate name, Long John Silver.
Long John Silver, at your humble service.
It's kind of been co-opted by, like, terrible fast food, but...
I'm a easy man. A gentleman of fortune, says most. But it makes me sick at heart to sail with the likes of you.
And I guess, forgot to mention, this movie's directed by Brian Henson. So, I don't know if he's Jim Henson's son.
He is.
Okay. I wasn't sure if he was just like, no, he's actually his nephew or something.
No, it's his son.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the set after, obviously it's after Jim Henson passed away. It's set in that weird era after Henson died that I don't know why, but it just felt like, with the exception of like Muppets Tonight, everything was just Rizzo and Gonzo front and center.
Yeah, and because we grew up in that era, now it's weird without seeing Rizzo and Gonzo everywhere. It's like, I feel like so weird when you see Gonzo without Rizzo.
I mean, they made that Muppet Haunted Mansion movie, and it's Gonzo and Pepe the Prawn?
What?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
It just feels so weird.
But
It felt wrong.
it did.
It felt like that should have been Rizzo.
Man, yeah, Rizzo just gets no play anymore.
I mean, his performer was fired, and they've never replaced him. As many remember, the guy who performed Kermit the Frog for a long time, Steve Whitmore, was let go by Disney. He also did Rizzo.
Oh,
So not only did we get a weird, wrong-sounding Kermit, we got no Rizzo.
yeah. It's kind of weird because I know Steve Whitmore, right?
Yes.
People called him wrong-sounding Kermit for a while, but it's like, that's the Kermit I grew up with, so like... And I think it sounds pretty close to Jim Henson. That new Kermit, though, sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's like, whoa, what happened?
Sometimes it just sounds like a bad impression.
It sounds like that Family Guy joke.
It does.
Like, it really does.
Yeah. Just, this at least sounds like it's a different take on Kermit.
Yeah. But, yeah, you know, I love the Muppet Treasure Island. We got Tim Curry, as Long John Silver.
I
Or,
mean, come on.
you know,
Perfect casting.
yeah.
Who else would you get to play an evil pirate in a Muppet movie?
If you don't know Tim Curry, he was also the voice of Kilo Khan from Superhuman Samurai Squad. And yeah, a bunch of other things too. I will always remember Kilo Khan for some reason.
I mean, I remember that too, but I don't bring it up to anybody.
I don't know. I think I must have watched the videotape of The Glitch That Stole Christmas way too much when I was a kid. So it's always ingrained in my brain. Also, he played the best version of Captain Hook in Fox's Peter Pan and the Pirates of Neverland, where he has that clip where he tells Peter Pan, like, unlike you, I actually got to grow up. I got to become a man. And Peter Pan's like, oh my God, what am I doing? So good.
Okay.
Yeah,
Never saw it.
it was a really good show. And Disney did everything in their power to bury it.
I mean, now they own it.
And they will never show it to you.
Never ever.
Yeah, because they were pissed. They're like, how dare somebody do a Peter Pan thing?
Even though we don't own that.
Yeah,
But how
But-
dare you?
exactly. But anywho. But yeah, Muppet Treasure Island.
Not only was it the Gonzo Rizzo era of Muppets, it was also the classical literature era, because we had most famously Muppet Christmas Carol, which is why this movie exists.
Yeah.
And also during that time, there was a straight-to-video Muppet thing called Muppet Classic Theater, which was hosted by Gonzo and Rizzo.
Of course.
And they recreated a whole bunch of classic stories, like The Boy Who Cried Wolf, and I think The Three Little Pigs was one of them.
I wish the Muppets would do more of that, honestly.
Yeah, the last time I remember anything like that was, I remember seeing Muppet Comics with, like, Muppet Sherlock Holmes, and I'm like, make that movie.
Yeah.
I would love to see Muppet Sherlock Holmes as a movie.
That would be pretty good, or like Muppet Robin Hood somehow, or
It's the Muppets Go Medieval.
yeah. They do Muppet King Arthur, and it's like pretty much like a shot-for-shot remake of Excalibur, except with Muppets.
Oh, good lord.
This is like, whoa, this is intense.
Why was there so much nudity?
This is real weird. It's like, I normally like Kermit the Frog, but he kind of sucks in this movie. Would Gonzo be Merlin?
Yeah. Gonzo makes sense as Merlin.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a very different era of the Muppets, I guess. And I think the Muppets did do like Muppets Wizard of Oz. I feel like that's something and I know they did Cinderella at one point too.
Not that I'm aware of.
Did they? I thought they did do Cinderella.
I don't think so, dude.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I guess they definitely did do Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
though.
that was
I
like a
am
weird-
remembering that correctly.
Yeah, that was like a TV movie. Had like no budget.
Okay.
Wasn't very good.
Yeah.
Had a weird random Quentin Tarantino cameo.
The gals whip out these huge samurai swords, and they just tear it up.
That is really weird. But, you know, one thing I love about this era of the Muppet movies is just, like, how, like, elaborate everything seems. Like, you know, you've got, like, a million puppets on screen. You've got these, like, very, like, detailed sets. Like, in this movie, you've got, like, the pirate ship that well, I guess it's just a ship. It's not a pirate ship.
They try to turn it into a pirate ship, but no,
Yeah.
it's just a British ship.
Yeah, exactly. Kermit the Frog, he's the captain. I always forget his name because I always think it's Kermit the Frog, except he's captain in this movie.
Smollett.
Smollett, that's right. Sam Eagle, who has some of the best lines in the movie, where he's just like, I was just doing what you,
I was anticipating your will.
Yeah, and it's all like super like brutal and violent. Like every time you tell somebody like they do something wrong, he's just like, take yourself to the back and give yourself 40 lashes and then throw yourself off the plank or something.
Yeah.
Ah, you there! You were in charge of railing dust, 30 lashes, and then you walked the plank.
I didn't say that, Mr. Arrow.
I was anticipating your whim, sir.
But, you know, it's the story of Treasure Island, if you don't know what Treasure Island is.
Have you ever read it?
I have never actually read the story, but I've seen enough adaptations of it.
To be fair, I think this is the only full adaptation I've ever seen. I never read the book, but I did listen to it. It's the only book on tape I've ever listened to was Treasure Island.
Okay.
I don't really remember much because I probably would have remembered more if I read the book.
Yeah. Well, follows Jim Hawkins, I
Yes.
think, and, you know, he's...
Who normally is by himself, but it's the Muppets, so he's got Gonzo and Rizzo as his two best friends.
Exactly. And they're working in this, like, terrible bar where they get table scraps. There's a pretty good line that, like, is kind of dark. But then again, Muppets are kind of dark, where, like, Jim Hawkins is like,
I hate my life.
I hate your life too.
and I'm like, there it is.
To be fair, this might be the darkest Muppet movie.
Yeah.
Because we get that opening song that's all about murder and thievery, and
Yeah.
ends with a pirate captain murdering his crew. We don't see it, but we see the gunshots, and we're told, yeah, he killed all those guys.
Yeah.
And a guy dies.
Yeah.
A guy dies in a Muppet movie.
He died? And this is supposed to be a kid's movie.
A couple guys die in this movie.
No, really, only one guy dies.
Okay.
That other guy was already dead.
That's true.
Dead Tom's dead! Long John shot him!
But Dead Tom's always been dead. That's why he's called Dead Tom.
Oh,
Dead Tom was dead.
Dead Tom was dead. Not to mention Old Tom and really Old Tom. The Dead Tom.
I love that.
That's a great joke.
Absolutely. But yeah, the Billy Bones, you know, he was part of Captain Flint's crew. He's just some drunk layabout, just staying at the inn. Gets a visit from one of his old crewmates, the blind guy who's flopping all over the place, but then he pulls off some freaking daredevil moves.
Yeah. Blindy the pirate.
They give him the black spot.
Yeah.
It was funny seeing the black spot in this movie as a kid and being like, huh, that's kind of silly. And then it pops up in one of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. I'm like, is this like a Is this like a thing in pirate lore?
You know what's insane, speaking of that? This movie's music is done by Hans Zimmer. And I'm like, I guess this was his tryout for Pirates of the Caribbean, because it's also a Disney movie, too.
Yeah, Disney did distribute this.
Yeah, so it's just like, hey, who do we know that could do good pirate music? It's like, hey, that guy that did Muppet Treasure Island, what's his name? Hans Zimmer? Get him for Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
Although Pirates of the Caribbean score is on like a different level than this movie, but this movie's score is actually pretty good. It has some of my favorite Muppet songs in this movie.
Now, generally speaking, I hate musicals with
Yeah.
a fiery passion that I find difficult to explain. But there are exceptions to that. The only live action exception is Blues Brothers, animated stuff, and things featuring Muppets.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Show me singing and dancing when there's Muppets involved. I'm fine with it. If there's just normal people, get that shit away from me.
It's just like, why are those weirdos dancing? This is weird.
At least if they're dancing and there's Muppets, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Of course you dance. There's Muppets.
I mean, what else are puppets gonna do?
Yeah.
But yeah,
yeah, like you said, some of the best Muppet songs. That opening song,
yeah.
Shiver Me Timbers or whatever it's called.
I mean,
that's great.
The greatest song in this movie, We Got Cabin Fever. I love it.
It's so weird.
It's like so out of nowhere. Everybody's wearing like the fruit hats and everything, and it just goes nuts. I also think like the Boom Shakalaka thing where they introduce Miss Piggy is pretty good too.
It's not bad. The Sailing to Adventure song is pretty fun. I like Tim Curry's Pirate song. That's fun. There's no bad songs. There's just like the boring I Want Something Better song and We're in Love song that Piggy and Kermit sing to each other.
Yeah. It's not like Muppet Christmas Carol where it's just like all the songs are good and then there's that one really sad one that you're like, ugh, I don't feel good anymore. Like,
you're not supposed to in that scene.
I know.
It's important to the plot.
I know.
And the character
It's
development.
just like too sad though.
It's probably why it was cut from the theatrical release.
Yeah, but they're bringing it back apparently. Or they already did. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't follow this stuff.
Yeah. I guess, you know, the whole thing is Jim Hawkins gets a treasure map.
Yep.
He goes to get a boat and like a kind of like a crew from, forgot the name of Fozzie's character,
Young
but
Squire Trelawney, who's
insane.
He thinks there's a man living in his finger.
Yeah.
And he's got, I'm just going to say Bunsen and Beaker with him.
Yes.
I mean, I think Bunsen's character is a name, and then I think it's just Beaker.
Yes, it's Dr. Livesey and his assistant Beaker. They do research and development for my papa. Hello.
Yeah.
Because he's just Beaker.
I mean, he gets introduced with like blowing up Beaker, and Beaker gets stuck in the like wall, and he pulls him out.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
Bunsen and Beaker. It's what they do. It's actually weird when they don't.
You know what's hilarious? I see Bunsen and Beaker all the time because in a lot of places I go to for work, they have these safety signs that have Bunsen and Beaker on them for like actual legitimate like labs and stuff.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just like, huh. They're very much a part of my life, Bunsen and Beaker, when I see them around.
That's funny.
Yeah. Also, Homer Simpson is on some safety signs I see sometimes too.
Of course he is.
It's mostly with the labs that got personality. But, yeah.
Everyone else, then it's just like the bland, just say no.
Yeah. Or just like, this place is not safe. We're not going to try to encourage safety. Don't go to level M.
You'll die.
Yeah. But, yeah. You know, I want to say, like, they kind of fit in all the Muppets, but, like, a lot of them are just, like, weird cameos, like, that, like, are not, like, characters from the book. Like, you know, you got the Electric Mayhem.
They're just there. There's literally a moment where they're like, whose side are we on?
Yeah.
I don't know. Sweetums is there as a
Yeah.
member of the crew.
Swedish Chef shows up in, like, the best way.
Oh, that's great.
Or,
And
like-
they hang a lampshade on it, too. It's like,
Yeah.
well, how else were we going to get him in?
Yeah.
He's wearing a pig nose.
Yeah.
It's great. I love that.
Yeah, it's so good. Like,
There's a little brief blink and you'll miss it, because this was, you know, after Jim Henson died, they were kind of gun shy about letting someone else voice Rolf the dog. So you only see him for like a second.
oh, okay.
He's one of the people leaving the inn in the beginning of the movie.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think I noticed it this time, but yeah, I usually do notice Rolf the dog.
Yeah.
Like,
The guy that throws the boomerang fish, he's there. He's just a member of the crew. You just see him a couple times.
yeah.
I think he does throw his fish at one point. I can't remember. A lot of stuff happens.
Yeah, you know, there's some like good like things in this movie. Like I love when like Kermit like he does like the roll call, or Sam Eagle does the roll call with like the crew. They're just all like crazy criminals, pretty much.
And we mentioned the best ones.
Yeah.
Old Tom, real old Tom, and dead Tom. It's
Yeah.
just a skeleton being puppeted around like a marionette.
Yeah.
It's so good.
I think I love after the roll call, like Kermit's is like, "Hey, can you meet me in my quarters?" And it's like, "What the heck is this crew?" Like he's just like already like flipping out about it.
Why would you? Why?
Yeah, it's like, who recommended this crew? And it's like, it was recommended by Long John Silver.
And the man in my finger.
Yeah, because Fozzie is a crazy rich guy who
He's an idiot.
is an idiot. Yeah,
He's even referred to as such, more or less, by the guy that answers the door.
yeah.
Of course, he's rich. Half-wits and young, Squire Trelawney is here.
I do love how he has this like very like elaborate, I guess, like sea outfit on at the beginning of the movie, where it's like all white and gold and everything, and it's just like, what's with this like Mozart outfit he's wearing? It's kind of crazy.
Style at the time.
Yeah, I guess so. You know, I always get confused when like pirate times are supposed to be, because it's like one of those things where I'm like, are pirate times like before America, or is it like during America? Because like I think they are.
The answer is generally yes.
Yeah,
It's
because
both.
like I think it's supposed to be like 1600s to like maybe like early 1800s, but
more or less.
yeah, but like mostly in that 1600 period where it was
Or
like
just like a lot
colonies.
of times the 1700s usually.
Yeah, I guess so.
A lot of that's like where the Pirates of the Caribbean movies are set. They're set somewhere in the 1700s.
Yeah, because like America really showed up like kind of at the end of the 1700s, so
Yes. At least as its own country.
yeah, because like you never really think about like people being in the Americas like
I
you
am
know,
asked.
like without America existing, but it's like, yeah, people were there for like 300 years, and I guess indigenous people even further than that, but like the pirate times were like, yeah, 15, 16, all like the privateers and stuff were like, man, those were crazy times where like England's like, hey, listen, you can be pirates, just don't rob our ships, but hey, if you want to rob France,
Absolutely rob France.
or the
Spain,
Dutch, or Portugal, or Spain,
yeah,
go
Spain,
for it.
Do it. Go for it. You have our blessing, and we'll pay you too.
Yeah, it's so weird, like the British.
It's even a lyric in the song.
Yeah.
Now take Sir Francis Drake. The Spanish all despise him, but to the British he's a hero, and they idolize him.
British Empire kind of was like a weird like mafia situation.
I'm sure I think they all did it though. They all had their
Yeah.
own privateers.
It's kind of crazy. It's like really wild times back then, where you know they still had swords. You know, people had guns, but like the guns were kind of like a one-shot thing,
Yeah.
and then they had to reload it.
That's why usually I got two.
Yeah.
I can maybe get two of you, barely. Makes you wonder how the hell Captain Flint killed 15 men.
Yeah, I
He had
guess.
two pistols. I guess he just hacked the rest to death with a sword.
Yeah, he was good. Good sword fighter.
Guess so. He strung him up by himself and everything.
Nice cutlass. Maybe he had a blunderbuss.
Maybe.
Yeah. I know some of those like old-timey guns, they would maybe not fill them with just bullets. They just like fill a bunch of shit in them and then like blast it out.
Could be.
So-
Could have maimed them.
Yeah.
Really brutal movie when you stop and think of the little details.
Yeah. But
He's a brutal, ruthless murderer who also dated Miss Piggy's character.
he did. Well, Miss Piggy even says in this movie, she's like, I think I have bad taste in men sometimes.
I guess she also had a thing with Long John.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny. You know, Long John, he's the man with the one leg that they get warned about, of course. He kind of says how he lost his leg, but we don't really get any details with that. I'm just like assuming like, yeah, it was probably blown off by like a cannonball, or
Yeah, probably.
Peter Pan logic. It was eaten by like a crocodile or something.
Also possible.
Yeah. Who knows?
Or, you know, I stepped on a nail.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah. Yeah.
It got infected and the doctor had to hack it off.
Yeah, I guess like 15th century medicine where it's just like, oh, you got a cut on your leg. Yeah, we better amputate that before it gets infected.
Yeah, get rid of it. It's
Yeah.
all right. Nothing we can do.
You know, it's interesting too because they never give him like a peg leg. He always has like the crutch.
I think I read somewhere once that they like tried a peg leg, but I think it was just too uncomfortable, so they just went with the crutch.
Okay.
Which I think is how it was in the story. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so too. you know, it's funny because like Disney's done at least one other Treasure Island, you know, adaptation with like Treasure Planet, which is pretty good too. But I guess like the Muppet one and Treasure Planet are the ones I know the best, and they're very similar because they're the same story. But
yeah, of course they're similar. It'd be weird if they were different.
It's weird though, because like Lon John Silver is like a really good character. He's like he is like a scoundrel, and he's like a bad guy, but like in some ways you almost like want to root for him, but then like he also sucks. Like you could see how like Jim is kind of like, well, maybe he's okay, because like he's such a good like manipulator.
Yeah.
Like even at the end of the movie where like he's like escaping and like Jim's like about to blow the whistle, but he's like, okay, I'll let you escape with the treasure, and it's like
because there was that moment when they find all the empty chests that and the pirates start to turn on him. He was like, "Get out of here, kid."
Yeah.
Like he's like, I actually do like you. I wasn't actually lying about that.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe Jim felt he owed him that.
Yeah. I mean, he gives Jim like his father's compass back. That's like a thing in the movie where his father was like I guess a sailor, and Kermit the Frog knew him.
Apparently, he was a first mate on a ship at some point.
Yeah.
And died under mysterious circumstances.
Yeah.
He died, and we don't know what happened.
Could have been anything, like a skirmish with the Spanish Armada.
Maybe
I think that was a thing back then.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Maybe he stepped on a nail.
That too. Or ancient old times, fell overboard, assumed dead by sea monster.
Got grabbed by the Kraken.
The Kraken.
It's like, is that a...
Yeah. He was eaten by sharks. What a way to go.
And this is the Muppet universe, so those sharks were mocking him the whole time.
Yeah, they ate him and then like sang a song afterwards.
Sang a song before eating him, while eating him, after eating him.
Man, that would be insane. They should do the Muppets Jaws.
Oh God.
Like the shark just like talks and stuff too.
All right. Okay? Kermit's Chief Brody.
Of course.
Fozzie will be the marine biologist guy. That means Gonzo's Quint.
Would Fozzie be the marine biologist guy, or would he be like the weird mayor guy?
No. That'd be Arrow. That'd be not Arrow. That'd be Sam Eagle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because you want like the three main people to be on the boat to be like three main Muppets.
I want Rizzo in it though somehow.
You just have Rizzo there.
Yeah. Rizzo's just there.
Rizzo's just there.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's like, I'm Quint. This is Rizzo. Yo.
Yeah. Be pretty good.
And, you know, Piggy would obviously be Brody's wife.
Of course.
Obviously.
Yeah.
You know. Robin plays one of the sons.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth.
Be pretty good. Muppets Jaws.
Yeah.
Should do it, Disney.
And it'd be Janice that gets eaten in the opening scene. And she'd be like, oh no, for sure.
Oh my God. That would be so good. Works so well. They should just like adapt like other movies with the Muppets. Be so good.
It's a common thing you see trending on social media where like pick a movie, replace almost all the cast with Muppets, keep one human.
Yeah.
Go.
Be pretty good. Yeah. But
That's what happens when you grow up in the era of the Muppet do a story. You just want to see the Muppets do other ones.
Yeah. It's great. They got that Muppet charm to them. It's like hard to explain. They're like, I don't know. They're kind of like rude to people, and it's great, and I love it.
Miss Piggy's so violent.
Yeah.
It's one of her best attributes.
Yeah, Miss Piggy is like super glamorous, but she'll also kick your ass with karate, and it's great.
She's fully confident in her beauty, and she'll kick the living shit out of you.
Yeah.
She's dainty, but man, don't make her mad.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess like some other moments in the movie we should talk about, like, you know, Miss Piggy is like stranded on that island and she has like the tribe of like the warthogs.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, she's kind of barely in this movie.
Yeah.
She doesn't get alluded to, because I was checking when I was watching. Like 40 minutes in, we see like the picture of her. And then she shows up at like the 1 hour mark.
Yeah.
So that's most of the movie that she's not in. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting. Of course, like, you know, her and Kermit had their thing. Kermit left her on the altar.
Which is all original in this movie,
Yeah.
because the character she plays is a dude named Ben.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we even get some pretty good sword fighting in the movie.
Excuse me.
Pardon?
Kermit the Frog going wild with that sword. Maybe going a little too wild with that sword.
He suddenly open shirt, has a piggy tattoo on his chest.
You notice at the very end, everybody's wearing the same outfit all of a sudden. I'm like, did I miss something?
No,
Why is everybody just wearing that, like...
It's a joke!
Yeah, sword
just a
fighting
joke.
outfit. Even Miss Piggy's wearing it.
Suddenly, she was dressed in her, like, tribal outfit. All of a sudden, she's dressed like that.
Yeah.
God, like, they're all just dressed like that just because I think they just thought it was funny.
Yeah, just like Gonzo and Rizzo. Everybody, even Jim is...
Yeah, even Jim is wearing it.
Yeah.
They don't draw attention to it. It just
happens.
Yeah, it just happens. There's no one doing like a double take. Me like, what the heck?
Yeah. It is kind of funny. You know, at first when I saw Kermit the Frog, like, you know, he has the tattoo on his chest, but like at first I'm like, did they put hair on his chest? Like with like the open like shirt? But I was like, oh no, it's a tattoo.
Yeah, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
He's a sailor.
Yeah, exactly.
Sailors have tattoos.
But he does have his like, I don't know, those like British wig hair going on in this movie too.
Yeah, well, of course.
The weird ponytail or whatever.
Yeah.
That was a weird look back then.
Yes, it was.
Powdered wigs.
Because of lice.
Yeah. I always remember this one joke from this cartoon show called Flapjack, where it's very influenced by the 1600s, and they always say like gentlemen do not bathe, they powder.
Good Lord.
Yeah. And I'm like, I wonder if that's how it actually was back then.
I don't know. I would never want to time travel because I'd be afraid to breathe.
Yeah. It's like the past was stinky.
Seriously.
Like real stinky. But what else to say about the Muppet Treasure Island except it's great?
There's another fun little touch. Right as they're boarding the ship, Rizzo's selling tickets.
Oh,
so
yes.
throughout the movie, there's just a ton of rats that are just like on a cruise.
Yeah.
And they come in handy at the end because Silver Triceps gone with the treasure, but his boat sinks because it was unsafe.
Yes.
And they retrieve the treasure.
Yeah, it is kind of funny seeing the rats like do the little commentary throughout the movie.
There's like a tour group being like, this is a set from the movie Muppet Treasure Island.
Yeah. They're always like, oh my goodness. Like, have like the camcorder and everything.
Playing shuffleboard.
Yeah. It's pretty good. I guess like some other like weird Muppets that just don't recognize too often, like there's like the weird crawfish Muppet that is like Long John Silver's like pet Polly.
Yeah, I think him and the goat were in Muppets Tonight.
Okay. The goat was pretty funny actually. He was like so stupid. It's kind of great. I do like how they give Long John Silver the black dot card, and he's just like, you did this on a page of the Bible?
Oh yeah, he completely plays into their superstitions and just completely flips that situation. It's great.
Yeah. I mean, the Superstition Pirates with like the ghost of Sam Eagle, and he's just going like, boogie!
Boogity, boogity!
Yeah.
Boogity!
They just all jump overboard and everything.
What do you think of the use of Statler and Waldorf in this movie?
It was okay.
They're just on the mast of the ship.
Yeah. They're just like the ship decoration, or I'm sure that actually has a name for like the head of the ship, or like the marquee or whatever they call it.
It's one of those words I think I used to know, but
yeah,
and information's gone.
It's an old-timey term.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all right. You know, it's kind of like maybe they could have done something else, but like it worked. They just like fit them in anywhere they could.
Yeah.
Like. Not just like bland like Swedish Chef like we already mentioned, where it's just like, we got him in the movie.
Well, there's certain Muppets you have to put in.
Yeah.
They're on the list. Swedish Chef is usually on the list. I mean, Statler and Waldorf, they're on the list so much that they even made it into that Electric Mayhem show.
Oh.
They're like the only other Muppets that popped up in that.
Nice. Yeah, there's some Muppets that like, since like the era we watched the Muppets, like there's certain ones that like just don't show up in this era, like Scooter. Like he was just kind of gone for a while.
Hey, Scooter, after his original performer passed away, he was kind of semi-retired for a while too.
Yeah, because I think he was in Muppet Babies, and then that was kind of it.
Yeah, after like the first couple movies, I think his name was Richard Hunt.
Okay.
He passed away around I think around the same time Jim Henson did, like around that same time frame. So Scooter kind of disappeared until around Muppets from Space, where he shows up briefly, has like 1 or 2 lines.
Yeah.
And then when they finally got like a new regular performer, he started like showing up more again.
Yeah.
It's like they never permanently retire a Muppet, but they will semi-retire one for a while, like Rolf and Scooter. So I'm like, one day Rizzo will talk again, damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while since Rizzo. I guess, like, I don't know if, like, that one Muppet, Deadly, was around yet.
He was, but he was never prominent until more recently.
Yeah.
He was, like, a minor one that I think showed up a couple times in the Muppet Show. I think he showed up as, like, I'm the thing that haunts the Muppet Theater.
Yeah.
But he never... His most prominent role, I think, was, like, in that 2011 The Muppets.
Yeah, that's what I remember him from.
That's where I first remember seeing him.
Yeah, and the ABC's The Muppets, too.
Well, that kind of gave him a new purpose, like being Miss Piggy's, like, assistant.
Yeah.
That's kind of been carrying over, and I hope that sticks, because that was a cool idea, and I like it.
I like that Miss Piggy has, like, a... Like, I don't know, assistant or...
An Alfred.
Yeah, an Alfred, yeah.
I think it works for that character.
Yeah, definitely. But, yeah, I love The Muppet Treasure Island. I wish the Muppets would do more adaptations of, like, literature or anything like this.
I would love to see an adaptation of that Sherlock Holmes comic I saw.
Yeah.
Gonzo as Sherlock Holmes? Come on.
That would be pretty good. Would Rizzo be Watson, or would you just have, like...
On the comic, it was Fozzie as Watson.
Okay, that actually works. Yeah.
It kind of makes more sense.
Yeah.
I guess, I don't know who would be Lestrade. Would you just have Kermit be Lestrade?
Yeah, maybe.
They have to have Kermit in there somewhere.
Yeah.
He can't be a bad guy. He's Kermit.
Yeah. Moriarty. I don't know if you just do, like, a regular human actor as Moriarty.
Maybe.
You know,
yeah,
like,
maybe. That could be a way to go.
Yeah. That way, like, the Muppets are fighting somebody else and not, like, an evil Muppet, you know?
Or Uncle Deadly.
Yeah. Uncle Deadly would work, too. Yeah. That'd be pretty good, you know? But
I would like them to actually, like, upload... Like, they're not going to release it on DVD, but that Muppet Classic Theater has been out of print since we were kids.
Oh, man.
So, like... At least put that on Disney Plus would be nice.
Yeah, I would love to see it. I don't even remember it.
It's on YouTube, but give me some good quality, damn it.
Yeah, seriously. Like...
There's a few things that are just, like, big Muppet projects that, like, oh, you can't see that. Why? I don't know. You can't.
It's just gone.
It's not gone. You can see it. Like, okay, I should rephrase that. You could see it. It's going to look like shit.
Yeah.
But you could see it.
Yeah.
It's like, can I get the version that looks okay? No.
It's kind of weird because, like, you never think about it, but, like, the Muppets have been, like, around for, like, I don't know, like 50 years, right?
I mean, Jim Henson was doing them in some form since he was a kid.
Yeah.
So.
But they didn't really start until, like, maybe, like, the 70s, right?
The Muppets that, as we know, started in the 70s.
Yeah.
But they were around for a long time. They evolved. Like, there was the thing that evolved into Kermit, the character that evolved into Rolf.
Yeah.
They were doing commercials, and they did specials, and eventually became the Muppet Show.
Exactly. But, yeah, I guess with that being said, I guess go watch Muppet Treasure Island. It's a great movie. And there's a lot of good movies for the Muppets, too.
The Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah.
The Muppet Movie. If you want to watch one that's both funny but also gets weirdly sad, Muppets Take Manhattan. That just got a 4K release.
Oh. Yeah, right.
Because their rights are held by Sony.
Yeah, which I guess maybe Muppets in Space will get a 4K release.
I wouldn't bet on it, but
I thought that was the other Sony one.
I know, but I just wouldn't bet on it.
Yeah.
Like, Muppets Take Manhattan was like, that's from the golden era.
Yeah.
That's like the last one Jim Henson made.
Right.
I think that was it directed by Frank Oz? It might have been directed by Frank Oz. I'm not sure. One of them was directed by Frank Oz.
Right. I thought I had to look, and I was like, did Frank Oz direct Muppet Treasure Island? But then I was like, no, it was Brian Henson. I was like, okay.
He was slowly stepping away from being a regular Muppet performer at this point.
Okay.
I think he only did a little bit and mostly just did the voices.
Right.
And then I think by the time Muppets from Space, he just did the voices, and then after that, he was done.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But, well, go watch Muppet Treasure Island, and I guess that's the Out of Touch podcast for this week.